Okay, Esther.
I guess they may have, had they realised the pain and suffering their daughter would have to endure as a result of this terrible affliction.
Well, that's what art's about, isn't it? Questioning. It's basically to question, isn't it? If you're not questioning, it ain't art, is it? Let's go back to Katherine.
Art is about fuck all important, and the less you understand about art, the better.
What about people's attitudes to you? Okay, you could say I let it wash over if people start talking to my PA as opposed to me talking over the does she take sugar syndrome. But how constraining is say an able-bodied person's expectations of you, to you in your life?
I think the does he take sugar syndrome is great. It reminds me of who I am and minimises my identity and makes it so much easier to remain marginalised.
That still happens?
Yes, thank goodness. Where would I be without oppression?
Because as soon as you lose eye contact, you presume the person stopped listening, don't you?
I hope so, as I have very little to say. I tend to avoid eye contact so people can ignore me.
You could tell them you're deaf.
The artist I collaborate with is as deaf as a post. Another time waster. If you can be bothered to read his nonsense, his website is www.erinwilliamson.co.uk. So yeah, I'm used to working with the deaf and pretending that everyone around me is deaf.
I bet you do that as well, wouldn't you? Do you get any fun out of people's preconceptions and attitudes and asking the same question?
Yes.
I bet you'd be frightening on the dance floor, wouldn't you?
Yes, especially when I steal your girlfriend.
That's amazing. Okay, God wear me Doc Martens.
Invalids wear them, don't they?
Certain Mr. and Mrs. Hitler's little son played around with eugenics and things about 60 years ago.
Yes, unfortunately they missed me.
What about this business about if you could choose? What do you think about a world in which your condition had been eradicated? Not necessarily you, but your condition.
I have no idea, but I would love to see more disabled people.
Esther?
Well, exactly. I think that we mustn't forget that living with a severe condition like spinal muscular atrophy puts an enormous strain on the support services, and so much money is spent to keep us alive. It is arguably a huge concern as to whether it really is money well spent.
But is it the way to go? I mean, you're just suggesting it's perhaps one item on the menu if we have choice in life. But doesn't it also suggest that we're talking about almost a class system, that people with a disability may be second-class citizens? Katherine, what about this phrase that's often bandied around, quality of life? That'll often be thrown into the mix as well, won't it?
Is it?
What about the business of attitudes as well from us allegedly able-bodied people? Do we still need to clean up our act? I would have thought in this age of instant information, and we've been politically corrected to an extent where it's getting boring sometimes. Do you think that we still have a lot to learn?
Not really. Society sees everyone the same, so I'm as happy as Larry.
I'm just happy to be here, and every breath I take means I'm alive a second longer.
Okay, and it's not just science, and it's not just attitudes, and it's not just society. There are also a lot of ethical questions in this mix, aren't there?
Yeah, Erin and me, also known as the Disabled Avant-Garde, are looking for galleries to commission our new work, influencers. We want to make a new series of short films, so if anyone's interested...
Esther?
Well, I am in total support of prenatal screening, as this would then eradicate the disease I have and would remove the suffering that so many of us victims go through on a daily basis.
There are no easy answers in this discussion, are there?
No, 50mm website address is www.15mmfilms.com.
Okay, what's the one thing that people keep saying to you that makes you sometimes wish you could slap them?
You've got mad hair?
Well, I'm too weak to lift my arms, so I don't think about slapping anyone.
I was with a friend at the weekend, come down to Brighton, not seen the buses before. We were getting on and off the bus, and they said, "Oh, what's happened?" Because the bus was tilting to the left, and they said, "Wow, that is so cool."
Okay.
That sounds amazing. Unfortunately, I'm too fragile to travel on buses.
And what about humour, Katherine? Is it important to keep that sense of humour? Because I think that's the most important organ in the body.
No, I think it's important to keep a stiff upper lip. Humour is a sneaky device that artists use to camouflage their lack of skills and produce shoddy work.
Oh, they always say if you want to prick pomposity, tell a joke about somebody.
Yeah, I've got a really good joke. What do you call a swimming pool full of cripples?
Go on.
Vegetable soup?
Well, basically you're holding up a mirror, aren't you?
Yes, I see myself as a cabbage.
Yeah, great to talk to you. I don't know if you know, but we've got this campaign going at the moment where we're taking a sideways look at what people... Because people would presume you talk about disability in a very straightforward way, but you might like this one. At Brighton Pier tomorrow, we've got our big blue bus out there, and we've got a group of blind buskers out there. but all their songs are going to be things like I Can See Clearly Now and stuff like that. That'd be interesting to see people's reaction to that if they spot the irony as well.
Sounds great. Let's hope they raise lots of dosh for their blind dogs.
I never forget the first time I was at the Comedy Store in London and a guy came on and he got crutches. He walked on with crutches, okay.
Oh, wow.
And he threw one of them away and it fell over. And he said, look at it, useless without me. And I thought that was so clever. And also, the other thing, what he did was he put us at ease. It was okay to laugh with him. All right, well, it's great to see you here, guys. All right.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming in and helping us kick off. Okay, you've got your website. Catherine, you've got yours, Arianello-art.com, yes?
Yes.
Okay, I'm rushing through these, but don't worry. At Esta, okay, .co.uk. I think somebody's written this down wrong for me, but I'll just correct it. Art, is it art?
It's actually estertraniart.com.
Well, what we're going to do is put it all on our action desk, which is a free call, 0800 number, so everybody can phone and find out information about that, and the helpline. Anything else we need to talk about before you leave? Because nobody leaves my radio studio ever saying, I wished he'd asked me that. Anything?
Brilliant. I will always remember this day, one of the best days of my life.
All right, well, thanks so very, very much for being part of BBC Southern Counties Radio. Katherine Arianello,
BBC Southern Counties Radio.